Welcome back. It's been a moment. I was supposed to go camping a lot more in January and February, but due to the fires and life being a bit busy, we just had to put a few trips on hold, but things are being planned for March, April, which is good. We did just get back from Montana and McAllister River out near Glen Maggie, just down the road from Paradise Valley where we normally go. It's our second year in a row we did it with the 4x4 brothers, and yeah, it was a bloody awesome time. And it was also the first time I've been camping with the kids since November, but also we went camping with our new family member, Rocky, the Jack Russell. He's about 16 weeks at the time we travelled. It was about a week ago. And it's actually the first time I've ever taken a dog camping. So in this show, I'm going to provide some tips of what I learnt for the first time without having to do too much research. And also what I've learned from this trip and what we're doing moving forward. So get into it. But first of all, it was great to meet a few people that we camped with. Of course, Dave and his family and his brother, also awesome to camp with. But I also met Richard from Outdoor Touring Life, I think it is. And also we camped with one of our listeners, Jake and his son and their dog, and camping with next to them was pretty cool. He had a 76 in RX5 Oz10 and I had the RV5, so it's good to compare what we do, what I learnt from that, his setup and other setups, and what I'm going to try and do better for next time. So yeah, it was good fun. I found camping with a dog, there's 5 things I've learnt really quickly is, 1, get one of those leashes that you can, like, you put the peg in the ground and you can have a couple of meters of, it's like a insulated wire rope, but also uses as a lead. I literally just held his normal dog lead the whole time and just put underneath the tent pole, which when he got excited, he ran off and, not run off too far, but, got out. And yeah, so next time I'm going to definitely get one of those. Number 2, stainless steel bowls was something I always feed my dog out of, but I would definitely get that and travel with a stainless steel bowl set up again. That was a really good idea. A bit of cold water, and also because it got about 30 degrees, just threw him in the river. Not throw him in the river, but placed him in the river to cool him down, and it was really good. 3, camp with people, next to people with similar dogs. Jake had a cavoodle, so that was easy, and those 2 dogs played together. Our kids were similar ages, and yeah, it was pretty cool to camp with similar setups as well. So lucked that one out. It was good fun. Our dogs didn't run off. They actually played and play fight together a lot, which was good fun. Our kids played together and did activities together, and it just made the journey much easier. There was about 60 other people around us as well. All different setups, caravans, tents, camper trailers, swags, and yeah, it was good fun. There was a big Rottweiler there as well named Zeus, and our dogs were playing, and he just barked, and these 2 little puppies just looked at him like, yes sir, we'll stop, we'll be good. So it was really funny because you look at I'll put a photo up on socials, he's a pint-sized little Jack Russell, and everyone loved him because obviously he's a new puppy. But he held his game with the small man syndrome as he has, so it was good fun to watch him actually play. And number 4 is what I did prior, is get a good car carrier. It's like this one's from Petstock. It's like a material box with a Landsville bottom, but with a seatbelt inbuilt in it. So I was able to place him in that and travel, and he sat in between the kids in the back seat, which was pretty cool. And made life easier, especially if you have to be mobile a bit more. If I was going full drive, I would still put him in the back seat because the front seat could cause an issue just in case the airbag did go off. It might not be good for the pup. But putting him in the back seat was quite good. He could see at the front. He could see me driving. He didn't get sick, and just took him out for do his thing at our stops on the way. We only stopped once after a couple of hours driving when we got off the Princess Highway going towards Glen Maggie from where we live. Made life easy because it's small and mobile, but I can imagine with bigger dogs there'd be different challenges, but different. That's what you accommodate in your setup, I guess. And number 5 is just go with it. Took him for regular walks. He had a rest here and there, but I was overly cautious, admittedly, at the start because I've never taken a dog camping before. But after, it was quite easy, and the kids loved having the extra company. Slept in a tent with us, and then tried to snuggle up in the sleeping bags the next day, which was really funny. But the kids sort of learnt as I went. I didn't really give them super big duper rules or this, that. They sort of learnt as I went as well. So it was good to actually, learn as we all go. And yeah, look forward to taking him on solo trips and also with the kids again. So yeah, I'll put a link to that dog lead that I was talking about before because I think they'll be really handy. It's really funny traveling with a dog when you've never done it before. It's an extra thing to think about. I think the other thing I noticed I did is I got him the individual tins of food rather than bring a container of wet food. He eats wet food for dinner. Instead of having to empty a container, put it back in the fridge, it was easy as just one small container and just throw that out in the bin. Made the experience a bit less smellier, I guess, and a bit more easier just in case you had to feed him on the spot. I put a questionnaire out and people asked a couple of questions, and Prado150 out of here, watching your content, watch his YouTube channel, Prado150 out of here. It's good. He has a Prado like mine, family and camper and a swag setup, and yeah, it's pretty good. So he asked, what is the most memorable experience in your Prado? Ooh, the first time I took it off road, it was going up to Mount Terrible, and probably the most important one is the first time I put the kids in the car in the hospital driving from Parkville to Ringwood. It was probably the most memorable moments I had in that car. I remember driving so slow and cautious and packing myself and two newborns in the back seat. That was hilarious. Never forget that, and I was glad because I only had the car for a couple of weeks at the time, so it was pretty good. And off-road touring life, how was Rocky on his first camping trip? It was a dream. It was amazing. You saw him with your dog as well, and he was a dream, and look forward to taking him again. And like I said in the show, just got to add a couple of things to the setup so it'll make life easier with him. And yeah, thanks for those questions, guys. Always happy to answer more if you got more. More importantly, made new friends. So Richard from Off-Road Touring Life, we've been chatting online for a bit and got to meet him, had a good chat and looked at each other's setups. And yeah, he gave some good tips. He had a dog as well that my dog played with. I met Jake and his son, and yeah, it was, talk offline a little bit. He lives around the corner, so it'd be good to catch up for a beer and a pizza. Moving forward, even another trip between the two of them. So, and those guys even stopped and had a coffee on the way home. So it was pretty cool for them to catch up, during the trip. So, more importantly, making new friends. People across from us, they must all known each other, but one of the guys offered me Starlink password for the weekend so I can contact whoever I need to, and that made life easier. Belly was on it, but wasn't going to marketplace anything while I was away. Mind you, I did write down a few ideas for things I would like to do in the future and purchase, but it was good. But it's funny, when I got home, I was on the trip. My kids have got the sleeping bags that are youth size, so they're a bit smaller. They're 70 centimetre wide instead of 90. And their camp chairs are quite small. Probably they were good when they were 6 when I bought them, and now they're 8 and they're actually grown out of it. And putting that stuff on Marketplace just to get new ones moving forward was a funny task to do, because you just remember the memories you have in those equipment that you have. And maybe the only one that has a bit nostalgic when you're selling something, it's like, oh, maybe I keep it, or give it to the Smith family, or if anyone needs it, But to get a little bit of money out of it, so to purchase new stuff, why not? Then it's a good routine to do if you want to buy new stuff. Have a little bit of money towards the new stuff and go better, go bigger, or in this case, have to go bigger because they're growing, or just borrow what I've got already. So yeah, it's been a fun experience going. Remember purchasing it when they were young and watching them set up for the first time, and then all of a sudden it's like, Dad, it's too big. We're going to use your one now. You're like, oh, geez, thanks. You got nowhere to sit. But couple of things I got for this trip that I found handy was the Kelmat RV5 bag from the standard one. So Oz10 always talk about how easy it is to set up the tent, but if you ever had an Oz tent and try and put it into their stock bag, I'll tell you now, it's a pain in the ass, and you'll just hate it. And Kelmat sell a great new bag. It's made out of their PVC material, made in Australia in Scoresby. Went there just before my trip, and yeah, it was great. It was so much easier to put in the bag. You can even put the extra balls and poles in it if you need to. I put the fly in with it set up in the tent, and there was heaps of room in there. It was easy to tie down. It's got tie down points. When we got home, it was raining, and then when we got home, the tent was still dry. I highly recommend it. I'll put a link for that as well. If you've got an Oz tent and that, like, their bags are crap. Like, my bag's relatively new. I actually sold it on Marketplace for someone else for $50. So made $50 off the bags and then put towards a new one. But really, like, those tents can last forever, and they'll last forever. I think they'll last longer in a bag like that, especially putting on the roof, tying it down, taking it on and off. Like, it's going to get scratched. In storage, you'll get scratched. You never know. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. Go have a look at it. And also, I got one of their Tigear Boost tables, like a it's like a little table that you can use to stand on to go and get something from the car. You can also use it as, a stool, and a lot of, like, my chair doesn't have one of those fold out tables, so I used it to put my drink and food on it while I was eating, or put something on it while I was sitting by the river. Use it as a stool to get on top of the roof of the car to get stuff on and off, and even in the garage I've been using it as well. So I thought it was a useless item, in all honesty. I actually went, no, I don't need it. Like, watching other people use it, I'm like, really? It's just a stool. And then I got one pretty on good price at the Lardner 4x4 show. And I just bought it. I'm like, oh, I'll give it a shot. And bloody hell, does it work. It's awesome. I never thought it'd be that easy. Something so simple that folds up, it's light, actually fits in any setup of your car. Like, you don't have to, it's not bulky, and it just sets up in 1 second. So, yeah, I reminisce on that trip I did last year, Montana, with the guys, to now. My dome tent with the Darchi awning took me 45 minutes to set up properly, and with the gazebo, the 3x3 gazebo in the front of the tent, because the awning on those tents, the Jet tents and Oz tent, they don't sell them anymore. It's not that good. Having the RV5 set up and the 270 awning set up next to the car, I was done in 20 minutes. Like, even my kids said, Dad, look how fast we did it. We've got more time to play. And I think you can remember from episode 5 or 6, my kids were always saying, Dad, can you just, you're taking too long to set up. We need more time to play and have some fun. And I think I've successfully achieved that through this setup. So it's one thing that, I hate doing, is setting up. Actually, the worst thing is probably packing up after a trip and having to air everything out. But setting up quickly and able to spend more time with the kids, or, more time to chill, it was just easy. I put the awning out, went out in 30 seconds. Got their camp chairs out, which were sitting in the car ready to go straight away. I've learned from having to put the things I need first when I get the site more accessible, than hiding it underneath all the rest of the crap. Like, I used to put the chairs in first in the car, then everything I didn't need until the last, dead last of the trip. Now I put the table right at the door and the 2 chairs, because when we get to site, they want to get out of the car and explore. Or sometimes I just want to sit down in the shade, depending how hot it is, and I put the chairs out straight away underneath the awning, and then we set up the tent, set up the awning of the tent. 25 minutes, I was done. Like, I could have put that bedding in below and done everything. Usually I do that till last, because when you haven't gone camping for a while and you sleep, the mattress is out and everything, the kids want to play in the tent, and you could risk popping a mattress. So I just wait till the last minute now, and before we go to bed, when it's cooled down as well, the mattresses take 2 seconds to blow up with the leaf blower I bring, and throw out the sleeping bags, and it's done. It's ready to go. And then during the day, I put the mattresses on top of the other, so there's some room in the tent just in case they want to go in and veg out. And yeah, it's just noticing as they get older, they're wanting to help more, or they want to go explore more. And you keep your watchful eye on them, but you don't have to follow them every like a meter behind them, like when you did when they were 4 and 5. Like, yeah, it's been cool to watch them grow up and play. Like watching, I think it was about 30 kids on the hill at one point playing hide and seek, and then playing tag in glow sticks. At twilight, it was so cool to watch them play, and watching the other kids play and have fun, and parents watching, having a laugh, and having the marshmallows by the fire. It was good. It was really, really good. I learnt a lot in that trip from that sense. And yeah, if you have any tips on what to get next to the kids in terms of sleeping bags and stuff, or what's worked, hit me up. I'll love to hear it. I had the Coleman -3 sleeping bags. They were good. We camped in high country. We've camped many different places where it's been cold and they've been pretty toasty. So I've always had great feedback of those. I've got them they're on Marketplace at the moment if anyone wants it, or, if someone needs a hand, I'm happy to give them to them. If they're going on a camping trip and need some sleeping bags, hit me up. I'll, pick them up or drop them off or something. If you need extra sleeping bags, I can give them away as well. If they don't sell, I don't really mind because, everyone needs a helping hand sometimes. I even got a kids camping chair if anyone wants it. I'll put a test out. If someone's listening actually wants it, it's a pink Coleman chair. I'm putting it out there. I've got two sleeping bags and a chair. Reply to Getting Out Pod on Instagram or info@gettingout.com.au. Yeah, happy to give them away and see if anyone wants it. Up to you. So, ball's in your court. So, coming up, I'm going to be interviewing Off-Road Touring Life, and might be doing a trip with them. Went to the Lardner show and saw some of the crew there. They got the Mansfield charity at the moment. So on the weekend of the 27th to the 29th of March, there's a charity camping trip that Nas and a few others are organising. Nas was on the show not long ago. He mentioned it on there. I'm going to put a link up to it. So it's like a charity camping event, and all proceeds go to charity. I think it'll be a really cool show to go to. Unfortunately, I've got a wedding on that day and I won't be able to go. So it's called the Legends for Charity Community Camping Australia. So it's out in Mansfield. I'll put a link to their Facebook group they've got going at the moment. There's a few sponsors going as well that will be there to have a look. And yeah, I think it'll be a grouse trip to go. And yeah, I'll be interested to see who would want to go. I might try and go up the Sunday. I'm not too sure yet. I think, what can you ask for? Making money, raising money for charity and camping at the same time, and meeting new people. I couldn't think of anything else better to do on that weekend if I was available to do so. But yeah, hit them up and go for it. I would highly recommend. Yes, as I said, I'll put the link on Facebook and Instagram and stuff for you guys to review, have a look, and any questions, they will be happy to answer it. One thing I actually remember for that trip I was just talking now is when we've been to McAllister River for whether it be Paradise Valley, or when I went there in November, the river was flowing like it was like a rapids, like you could have the Olympics there for the kayaks. And of course, with not much rain we've had, the water's quite still and quite low in a couple of weeks ago in Montana. And I noticed that particularly my kid, he went in the water and said, I'm really itchy, like stinging. I'm like, oh, what does it could be? I don't know if it was just because of the still water and there was like a bit of, the bugs are in the water, or the bit of algae, or not algae, but something in the water that was sort of creeping up, and and it made him a bit uncomfortable. All I did is gave him a bit of, washed him with a bit of fresh water, and also I gave him a antihistamine, and that sort of made it go away. I think other kids were having the same issue as well, and same thing, and they, had a couple of had a antihistamine, just rinsed it off, and they were fine. Even some baby wipes just to wipe it off quickly. So, yeah, I never really travelled until, there was march flies as well, and, biting the kids and stuff to get a bit of pain. Antihistamines is the best go-to if your kids can have it. to have when you go away. I highly recommend it. Um, I wouldn't give it to any other kid unless I talk to their parent about it, of course. But yeah, traveling with the antihistamines was definitely helpful in those instances. My daughter had the same thing, and also with Mozzie bites, carrying antihistamines, a bit of disinfectant spray in your first aid kit, the anti-itch, just makes that trip a bit easier, especially not sleeping in their standard bed. They're a bit uncomfortable sometimes, or they sleep like logs like mine do, miraculously. Having something that reduces the itch will definitely help. I'm still in the market looking for something. I find those stickers on the clothes now. There was a brand I used, and they were horrible. They didn't even work. I just threw them out when I got home. The blue ones from Woolworths and Chemist Warehouse, like the round stickers, they are fantastic. I feel like they work well along with a bit of the spray. So yeah, don't even worry about the other ones that I was talking about. I'll have to find the brand. Give me a sec. I know it was NatPat. It's like the best kids mosquito stickers. I can guarantee you they're not. They are horrible. The NatPat ones, don't even bother. Just throw them out. The Mosquito brand is probably the best one. They're about $5 at Chemist Warehouse. They have always worked. But the other ones, they're complete rubbish. I just throw them out. I wouldn't even donate it to anyone because they shouldn't even be on the market after what I saw. Nearly every kid have one, and every kid looked like they had chicken pox the next day. So if you have them and it works for you, good. Don't work for us. So yeah, the blue ones, highly recommend. I want to get one of those electric Mozzie ones as well. I've got what the brand is. I've mentioned it before, but I'll get that a shot next time. But for 6 hours, well, it's not bad for 6 hours because considering the bugs come out like 5 o'clock and the kids go to sleep at about 8, 9 o'clock, and that's 2 nights. It'll last, one charge will last you 2 nights. So I'll give that a shot next time and get back. But what works for you guys? I'd love to hear. So please let me know. But any more tips of traveling with dogs? Any more tips that you have moving forward that what I've just discussed in the show? I'd love to hear from you. Next year, they're doing the 4x4 brothers are going to do the trip again in Montana. So highly recommend going. If you've seen it before, you had a inkling of it, just go. Pack your bag and go. You forgot something, don't have something. I'm telling you now, there are so many people there that have everything, throughout the trip that will help you. People borrowed stuff off one another. It was great. Someone borrowed my sticks for the marshmallows. I borrowed something I forgot what it was, but I borrowed something off someone else on their Starlink. So it's a good community feel. Good friends. Some people remembered us from last year. The kids remembered each other, even though you ask them what their names are now, they'll probably forget sometimes. But just go. Just if you see something like that in a group activity, just go. It's like, it's not too expensive. It's good fun. I'll definitely go again. Montana, the guy that runs it there, he's a bit of a grump. The rules he has is quite strict, like teaching, like in the toilet, to have how to use a toilet brush. Or, if you can read, do not speed, do 10K. Yeah, I agree with the 10K speed limits and stuff, but some of the rules I have written out there, make you feel like a bit of an idiot, but there are a lot of idiots out there, so I guess they've got a company for a lot of different people. But to people like common sense people, it just felt a bit silly. Like one of the guys we camped with, it let off. The dog got out of the car and walked around for like a minute, and he was threatened. The guy that was running Montana threatened him that he was going to get kicked off site because the boss saw him on camera in front of his kid and in front of my kids in a rude manner where you're like, you serious, mate? Like, we're here for a family of kids camping. We're not here to go to prison. Like, let it go, sunshine. It was an accident. But, yeah, highly... I would try, if Dave, if you're listening, try and do it at Paradise Valley next year. I would recommend it. That's my honest opinion. I'm not going to hold back on that one. I would prefer going to Paradise Valley over Montana. The toilets are better. The camping location where the river is, where everyone can jump in and deep, is better. And they've got a big rotunda area with the barbecue area and to do your dishes. They've got a communal freezer. You can throw icy poles in there. highly recommended. But that's my 2 cents. I can't say I'm running an honest podcast without having to include that. So if I was to go camping with my friends and do a group camp, I'd go to Paradise Valley over Montana. If you want to ask me more questions offline, you know how to reach me on Instagram, email info@gettingup.com.au. Yeah, happy to answer more questions. So yeah, in a couple of weeks, I have more interviews and more content for the show for everyone. I do apologize for the long break, but kind of needed it. I didn't want to just go on and fluff on about nothing. I needed something, and that trip was definitely an eye-opener and a learner for me, and I wanted to share with you all. So have fun. Hope the weather cools down a bit more so we can go out and it's less danger of being in an area where there's been fires. I hope everyone in the fire-affected areas is okay and recovering, and hope that animals and livestock are getting fed with a lot of donations I've seen with the hay, or just getting through yourselves. If there's anything we can help with, myself or the listeners who want to reach out and help people who are struggling out in that area, maybe do a bit of a cleanup, like Clean Up Australia, go clean up your favourite tracks. I don't know, food for thought. Add your thoughts in. Look forward to hearing from you all. Have a good day. Cheers.